Said she grabbed my hand, girls rescue, met the bar, witness said tears fled the hand, I'm waiting, I guess she tweet, I guess she confess, she thinking less, not drinking less, bathroom sex, best it gets, spontaneous, I stereotype, put to rest tonight, imagine, believe, and achieve, it works, Skyline as I rise like fireworks, smell through the bad, don't touch my perk.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to this edition of After the Storm, your Oklahoma City post-game analysis show. Want to thank everybody for coming on tonight, watching tonight. It was a not for ready for prime time deal for the Thunder tonight. We're not ready yet for the prime time slot yet. Do I think we will get there? Of course I do. Are we there yet? No, we're not. But that being said, I saw a lot of things tonight that are going to, I think, affect us, going forward. And my biggest takeaway is that, one, the referees are not calling fouls for SGA the last two games. They are not calling foul. Because SGA got a foul, or was I think it's Caldwell Pope, got a barely bump call that he got free throws for. SGA got hit 3 times by Murray, Jamal Murray, going to the basket in the first half, no call. Now, I know that he led the NBA in free throws shooting last year, but, you can't be selective in your calls. But once again, one play right before me, actually right in the third quarter, I believe, he got killed. You saw the deal. And our coach not once got a tech, not once said anything. And to me, that's a perfect opportunity for you to get a tech. Go off on them. Here's your star player getting mauled, and you don't stand up for him. You don't say anything. And, I was sitting next to the commander and my guy Drew Hinthorn, Husker Drew Picks. And we're sitting there, and the first thing the commander said, Randy Wright of YMB, the first thing out of his mouth was, that's not worth a tech. You haven't got a tech to try to, motivate the refs, try to motivate your team, nothing. So those are the things that I took away, is that, one, Chet played great, but we're not going to win with Chet scoring 20 points and SGA scoring 7. We'll win with SGA scoring 20 points and Chet 7, but we're not going to win with Chet scoring 20 points and SGA 7. That's just not going to happen. The next thing I take away is that Poku, why is he on the court? This is the thing. I understand why you put him in there was because it was between him and Sarr. Poku has a little bit more weight on him than Sarr, but right at the first thing that the Nuggets did was attack Chet down low. And then Chet comes back and starts scoring, and so they got exactly what they wanted. Chet against Jokic. SGA not being involved, nobody else being involved, it's just Chet going at him. That's exactly what they wanted. Because everybody understands that are knowledgeable, understands that everything goes through SGA. If he's not scoring, we're in trouble. And I think he was 0 for 9 or something like that to start the game off with. But once again, he's not getting calls on the free throw that he normally gets, and then he gets a little frustrated, which by all means he should, because he's getting hit. There's no way, because he has the way that he goes to the basket, the way he plays, there's no way that he's not getting the calls. But you got 2 little midget refs, 2 little short refs, who clearly never played before, and if you did, you played junior high basketball. Because I'm like, or there's either or there's a concerted effort to do what James Harden did. Remember, James Harden for years and years and years lived off the free throw line. Or that's the second opportunity, is that they don't want him to do that again. There's an edict by the NBA to not put SGA on the line. Because the first game, he was on the line. Second game, he get 2 free throws at the end of the game, or he shot 4 free throws? He's used to seeing 11 or 12 because he attacks the basket, and he's getting hit. Clearly, we're seeing it, and there's no call. And then Chet goes and barely gets hit on the reverse, and they call it for him, and we're all sitting there going, really? You're not going to call that? You're calling that for Chet, but SGA gets way more contact than Chet. Now, I know Chet is smaller, and he's a little more framed, but this is an all-NBA player. First team All-NBA. You get calls. He gets calls. LeBron gets calls. AD gets calls. If you are all NBA, you get calls. That's how it should work. That's how it always has worked. But for whatever reason, these last two games, SGA is not getting any calls. Therefore, he's struggling a little bit because he's normally getting some calls. Then you can get to the line and then you can work on your shot because at the free throw line, I've always told my kids, if you're off at first, go to the free throw line, get some shots up, or get your rhythm on the free throw line. So, but they gave SGA 0 calls today. 0 calls. So to me, that was frustrating for me to watch because I'm sitting there and looking at it going, what the, is going on here? Because that's just BS. But then again, our coach is not coming to his defense at all. At all. And once again, my guy Mark Long of SRB used to call him when you guys before y'all were really watching the games. Mark used to nickname him 2 minutes too long. He would wait 2 minutes too long to make a change, a substitution or whatever. And tonight we got back into the game and we had a chance to do something. Well, let me just go ahead and go through the stats, okay? First quarter, of course, we did our normal starting lineup with the SGA, Josh, Chet, Dort, and J-Dub. And right off the bat, what I noticed is, besides them pounding Joker with Chet and then Chet responding back and forth, which we got completely out of our offensive because Chet was not going to let Jokic come at him, which I'm okay with that. I mean, that's the law of the street. You come at me, I'll come at you. But in the scheme of things, SGA has got to get us going. Everything is he goes, we go. He don't go, we don't go. It's just that simple. And, what I noticed is that he picked up 2 quick fouls on a couple touchies. But then again, what's I said, he never got another foul. And then after that, you weren't giving him any on the other side, which was very frustrating to watch. So the Thunder, to me, we're down 18-25 with 4 minutes to go. You've got Kaysen, SGA, Josh, Poku, and Wiggins in the game. And at this point, SGA was 0 for 7 for the first quarter. But, the first thing we said is, why is Poku in the game? He hadn't played. Why do you have him in the game? What is that all about? It's just frustrating to me to watch this guy coach. But besides that, who are you going to put in? It's killing us not having J-Will. We don't have that guy that can push Chet or push Jokic around and not let him do what the hell he wants because Chet is not physically strong enough to stop anybody down low. They were pushing him around underneath in the basket, letting Chet was getting Jokic was getting whatever he wants. And that's exactly what happened. We just don't have any bodies to stick him. So it was very frustrating, this game. But the first quarter, this is what ended up doing. It was the Nuggets 36, Thunder 23. The Nuggets were 2 for 17 from 3, 51% from the field, 21 rebounds to our 9, 22 points in the paint. They only had 1 turnover. The Thunder were 1 for 7, 32% from the field with 9 rebounds, 16 points in the paint. And what the issue was, to me, is that we were so good from 3 against the Cavs. The biggest mistake the Thunder makes is the Thunder comes back out and they're like, oh, we're going to start out shooting threes again. And no, we're not a three-point shooting team. We're just not. And you got guys thinking all of a sudden they're three-point shooters. SGA took a couple threes. He was 0 for 3. But, once again, he's got to, if he's not going to get calls going to the basket, that's an empty trip. So he might as well try to knock down the 3. There's no sense in him going in and going to the basket looking for an and 1 or at least 2 free throws, and he doesn't get anything. So he got relegated to shooting threes, and that just didn't go over well at all. And then you got the Nuggets. What's up, baby? Then you got the Nuggets bench scoring 9-2 because the Thunder, like I said, you put Kaysen and those guys and Poku in there with 4 minutes to go, and Wiggins, and we just couldn't get it done. And the frustrating part to me is that, it's hard because as a fan or as a person who loves basketball, okay, and you're watching the game and you're watching what's transpiring, and you're realizing, A, we have too many bronze, as in their brawn is who they have on their team, and not enough, athletic, big, strong, physical guy. We just don't have. They are just more big, physical than we are, and that's going to be an issue of probably something that you could just see. I mean, if you're watching the game, you can see what happened there. We're just not ready for prime time. We've got a good squad, but if SGA is not going to get the calls and our coach is not going to defend him, and Chet's going to go at him, which he should. Don't get me wrong. You know, the law of the street is if you come at me, I'm going to come at you. So that's the law of the street. It's talking about ball. So I didn't have a problem with him kind of coming at him, but that being said, nobody else got into the flow of the offense. And then once SGA tried to get in the flow, or J-Dub tried to get in the flow, Josh tried to get in the floor, we're missing shots that we normally make. Therefore, the 32% from the field. You can't do that. You know, but once again, our great coach, and I think that he's going to be the detriment of the Thunder. And I agree with Randy 100%. It's just he's not the guy. He's not going to get us where we need to be. So, starting the second quarter, you had Micic, Jang. Once again, you got to play Jang right now because no J-Dub, or no J-Will. J-Dub, Isaiah Joe, and Kaysen were your starting five in the second quarter because remember, part of my issue with us has been second and fourth quarters, and that's my keys to the game, and I always say that. Second and fourth quarters, who do you have in the game? Who are you using? Your lineups, because the coach determines. And like I said, this year, he's going to determine wins or losses simply because he's got to make the right mix. He's got to make the right decisions on when to play people, when not to play people, and he's just got to do that. And I just don't really think the more I look at it right now, he's not capable. But let me give him his props on out of bounds calls. He makes great plays for out of bounds calls. He's 100% behind that. But in the start of the second quarter, I've got this in my notes. We had 3 looks in the paint and didn't shoot one of them. J-Dub had a shot, he didn't look. Micic had a backdoor cut, he didn't shoot it. And Isaiah Joe had a shot, he didn't shoot it. There's 3 looks at the basket where you kicked it out. We got 0 on that possession. And it's just like I just don't think we were in sync the whole game from the beginning to the end. And my hat goes off to the Nuggets in their game plan of what they did. They took us out by making it a one-on-one with Chet and Jokic. Great play, but the next time we play them, that won't happen. I can promise you that. And then the second thing I got, J-Dub needs to step up against the second unit, or against their second unit. And he just didn't quite get there tonight. But he is going to get there. I don't have any doubts about his ability of what he's going to be able to add for the Thunder. But we looked at this thing, and there was no challenge that was right in front of the coach. I've got this down here. No challenge right in front of the coach. And at this point, there's a little over 9 minutes to go. And then I said, I asked the commander, Randy Wright, and I asked Drew Hinthorn, when do you think he's going to put SGA in the game? Randy said 6 minutes. Drew said 7 minutes. I said 4 minutes. It was 43-54 when he put SGA and Josh back in the game. But that being said, right at that call that I'm talking about that was right in front of him that he did not challenge, we were down 6. And you had Micic, you had Micic, J-Dub, so you had that 6 on the court. And they cut it within 6, or those 5 on the court. They cut it within 6. Now, instead of the coach okay, we're back in the game, let me get my guys back in there, he waited 2 minutes too long. 6 minutes to go, we were down 6. And once again, he's 2 minutes too long. That's what Mark Long calls him, of SRB. 2 minutes too long, that's what he was. 2 minutes too long. Dude, learn how the flow of the game works. It's like last year when we were down, they were making a run at us. I want to say it was I forget, maybe it was a Celtics game, whatever. It's about 9 minutes to go, and you could just feel it coming. It was the Heat game. You could feel it coming. SGA gets off the bench in the fourth quarter to come in. Dagnall sits him back down, and they go on a 7-2 run or a 9-2 run. He doesn't understand the ebbs and the flow of the game. He is a great teacher of bringing players, getting players more out of players, getting them confidence. He's great at that, 100%. Okay? After that, yeah, not so much. I don't think he's the guy to take us to the next level. It's just not going to be there. He's just not it. And I think the Thunder fans, the players definitely need somebody who knows what they're doing. You can't, what you're trying to develop player wise doesn't exist. Jang is going to be very average, okay? Poku, he's gone. Kendrick, no, they're gone. You've got SGA, Josh, J Dub, J Will, Chet, and Wiggins. And Isaiah Joe they've caught up to Isaiah Joe. Now, he was great last year, but they've caught up to him. So you gotta swing him out of there now for now. Now I'm gonna give him a few more games to see what's up, but you can see that now they've got tape on the Thunder, what they do, how to defend SGA, how you defend the Thunder. They've got tape. Now SGA is still gonna do his thing, but if he's not gonna get calls going to the basket, you can't get empty trip after empty trip going to the hole if you're not gonna get a call. So, but like I said, 6 minutes to go. SGA's them, or 7 minutes to go. SGA them not in the game. You're down 6. Sub. Get your guys in there. Now you got back in the game. But once again, 2 minutes too long. It went from 6 points to 11 points in a minute and a half before he got these guys back in there. 2 minutes too long. That's what my guy Mark Long calls him. 2 minutes too long, and that's what he is. He's 2 minutes too long. So at halftime, the score is 51-69. They are now up 18. 4 for 13 for 3 for them, 2 for 16 for 3 for us. So that means we were 1 for 7 the second half or second quarter. Not 1 for 9. Not scoring anything. It's just the Thunder. They're not good 3-point shooters. We just don't have them. 53% for the field for them, 40% for us, 30 rebounds to 16, 40 pips in the paint to 36 for them. 3 turnovers. They only had 3 turnovers. And, of course, we only had 2. So we did take care of the basketball. That's one thing that I can say that we did do. Other than that, it was very frustrating watching what they were doing. Bench scoring, the Nuggets 16, Thunder 11. So now, like I said, I'm giving all my frustrations. You can kind of hear it in my voice because we're not ready for prime time yet. And I've said that right at the beginning of the show. Do we have a possibility of getting there? Yes, we do. Do we have the talent to get there? On the front side, yes. In the middle to end, no. But once again, we don't have J Will. That messes up the whole, flow of what we do. Because against a team like the Nuggets, you can't do the Poku and those guys. They can't play. You can't, the Michiks, those guys, you can't play them. And once again, Michik trying to throw a bounce pass in traffic. This is not the Euro League, bro. You cannot make those bounce passes between the bodies. They're too big, too fast, too strong, too athletic. Can't do it. Okay, and I've been harping on it ever since I watched him play in the preseason. Can't do it, guy. You got to learn at some point. But then once like I said after the Cavs game on After the Storm, he's been doing that for 9 years. So you can't expect him in 3 games or 4 games to do that. He's not going to stop. He's still going to try to do it. And he's got to realize you can't. And then the second thing I want from him is to be able to be more aggressive and be able to score and look for your shot. He did not do that as well. So when I look at the Thunder and I look at the Nuggets, and at halftime, what I see is a team who is aggressive, who is big, physical, athletic, versus a team who is getting there, who's young, who's not physical, who's not a bunch of athletic players. Okay? Now, he did at one point go with SGA, Kaysen, Dort, Wiggins, and J Dub. And my guy Randy Wright said he's going to go small. Now, remember, they still had Gordon and Jokic on the floor. Or Michael Porter Jr. So they're 7'2" and 6'11" on the court. And our biggest player we had was J Dub at 6'8", or 6'7", or 6'6". And what they do, he had to really quick put Jang in the game. Well, Jang can't play. He's not ready for this. He's just not. You can try Poku. He's not ready. Jang, not ready. Michik, not ready. Isaiah Joe being figured out. And now he's pressing because he's missing shots. So he's pressing, trying to get there. Just relax, dude, and just play. You'll be fine. But that's what's happening with him now. Okay? So he's got to watch what he's doing and how he plays. And that's the problem with Isaiah Joe at this particular point. And that's what happened to him in this first half, is that they took away SGA and his ability to shoot free throws. The second thing they did is they made it one-on-one with Chet and Jokic in order to get us out of the flow of what we do. The third thing they did was just pound us because they're bigger, stronger, more physical than we are. And the fourth thing they did to us, okay, and which kind of bothered me a little bit, is the fourth thing they did to us is just take us completely out of what we were trying to do. Because my old high school coach, Dave Smith, he would say, why are we working? He goes, listen, we're going to go over what they do, but do what you do and force them to do what you worry about what you're doing instead of us worrying about them. So concentrate on what you do well. Don't give up perimeter shots. Take care of business. Force them to be one-dimensional. And then you do your thing and force them to come to you. That's what he did, and that's what was happening. So, that being said, let's take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Collaborative Logic. We want to appreciate those guys for keeping us up and running. If you have any needs for computers or networking or software to make your office run smoother, or if you have any need for website design, they are the people to talk to. SRB, if you have any engineering, surveying, or planning, they love to be behind the scenes to do whatever complex or whatever you need to have built. They can do it and make sure everything is smoothly. So contact my guy, Mark Long, over at SRB. YNB, family owned and operated. I'm into the letters now. SRB, YNB. Family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC. So please take the time to get with them. They are the proud sponsor for us to support minority and women-owned businesses, minority women and black-owned businesses in the Oklahoma City area. So please, if you have to pre-qualify, I can't even talk. I'm just frustrated right now. I'm sorry, people. If you want to pre-qualify, you can online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go into any of their locations. The main bank at Elm Street, 401 Elm, downtown Yukon, YNB East, which is off the Parkway in 66, YNB Mustang off 218 North Mustang Road, YNB Parkway off Garth Brooks, and just south of I-40 there. And then, of course, YNB Peoples on 23rd Street between MacArthur and Rockwell. And then our newest sponsor, Shelter Insurance, the Mark Pemberton Agency, located at 4609 Southeast 29th Street, Dale City, Oklahoma, 405-670-2424. You can call for make-up appointment or get information. They're open Monday through Thursday from 9 to 5, Fridays from 9 to 1, and then, of course, Saturdays and Sundays they are closed. And they proudly serve and have been serving the Middale area since 1982. So I want to thank those guys for sponsoring and be our latest sponsor, and appreciate that. And please go and support our guys. Now, to start the third quarter, what are the Thunder going to have to do? You're down. What do you need to do? To me, the first thing you got to do is you start out with your starters. But the first thing you got to do is be aggressive. And the first thing SGA did was attack the basket. Didn't get calls a couple times. And then what they basically did is just out-physicaled us because they're physical and we're not. They have players we don't. It is what it is. We're not there yet. We're going to be there, I believe, with some roster changes. But right now with the roster we have, we can't compete with the Denver we need Jay Will, first of all. And I can promise you the next time we play them, it will not be this big blowout like it is now. I mean, they blew us out this year. They didn't even blow us out last year. But once again, the coach has to defend our best player, and he doesn't do that. The coach, they were on on that big play, we're down 6. J-Dub slaps the ball. The guy slaps at him. Ball goes out of bounds. He calls a foul. The referee does, right in front of the coach. Now, if I'm sitting there watching, I'm a coach, and there's something right in front of me, I'm going to see if it was a foul, and I'm right there. You played up on the screen. Right there. Clearly, there was not a foul. He lost it. No challenge. Now, if that was if that was Chet, challenge it in a heartbeat. And if you haven't noticed who he challenges for and who he doesn't challenge for, go back and look at the tape from last year and see who he does challenges for and who he doesn't do challenges for. Just saying. And then the third thing I noticed at the start of the third quarter is that we're missing Jay Will. Huge. I keep saying it over and over and over. We're missing his big wide body. He can bow up to Joker a little bit more. He can be weak. He can physical Aaron Gordon, who is just turned into a massive beast. There's just not a lot you can do with him. He's gained all that weight, and you can just see that he's just physically a man now compared to where he was in Orlando. So, but anyway, the Thunder tried to cut into the lead at the beginning, but we just don't have the players. So with 6 minutes to go, it's 65-85. We're now down 20. So we're basically, 500 with them after they got on that lead. And then you got SGA, Josh, J-Dub, Kaysen, and Dort. And I'm just going, okay, once again, you're going little. I don't get it. I don't get it. All of a sudden, it's 67-90. With 3 minutes and 47 seconds to go, you got SGA, Kaysen, Jang, Joe, and Wiggins. Once again, you're small. But what are your options? Your options are Poku. You have to give Chet some rest. Or Sar. Those are your options at big man to try to guard to go at Jokic. So, to me, what Sam Presti's going to have to do is really simple. If you're chasing the ring, what does the opposing teams that we're trying to chase down have that we don't? Now, you have 1,000 draft picks, so what do they have that we don't? What do we need to get us on that level? Because we're not ready for prime time. That's what it showed me today. Now, a lot of things have to change, and they do. But SGA going 2 for 15 by the end of the third quarter, 0 for 4 from 3. But he shot, 2 free throws? 3 free throws? Or maybe 4 free throws? Maybe it's 4 free throws is all he shot. And, why he's not getting calls, I don't know. Why our coach, like I said, is not fighting for him, I don't know. But the Thunder are going to have to retool what they have and who they're playing. We don't have it. You got enough picks, so, at some point you got to figure out, okay, what do we need? The same thing we've needed all along. Shooters. What do we need inside? An inside presence to be more physical. Those are 2 things we need. We needed those last year. We needed those the year before. We still don't have those. And in this league, shooters are people who aren't going to go, whatever we were, 7 for or 2 for 19 or 2 for 16 or whatever. Shooters don't mean you don't have your bad games. And I'm going to mark this game down as a bad game for the Thunder. But once again, if SGA is not rolling, the Thunder are in trouble. They are. So the end of the third quarter, Nuggets up 97-75. They're now 8 for 20 from 3, 59% from the field, just no perimeter defense whatsoever. 39 rebounds, 56 pips, 11 turnovers. And you look at the Thunder, you would think with 4 turnovers, we'd be winning this game. But instead, we're 7 for 16 from 3, which is not bad. We actually did good in the third quarter. You're shooting 40% from the field, 21 rebounds, so you're getting out-rebounded by 18 rebounds and 10 points in the paint. But Drew, like Drew said, if they're rebounding at 40%, that means almost every other shot that goes up, they get a rebound offensively. Can't give up those kind of rebounds. Bench scoring, Nuggets 20, Thunder 17. And I'm just going to say, this day had just, from that point on, my day just went to crap. My car got stopped. It was just, battery got died. It's one of those things. It's just frustrating because watch our Thunder get smashed. I know we're better than what we proved or what we had out there today. There's just no question we're better than that. But it doesn't matter because you got your butts whooped by 33. That's what you got beat by. At home. First home game, opening night. That's what happened to you. Now, that doesn't mean anything, mean a whole lot. I think the Thunder are going to come back. I think the Thunder are going to make a better showing. But hey, we've got to get J Will back, and you've got to figure out your rotations. And the main thing this coach has to figure out is that at the end of the year, he stopped being 2 minutes too long. But now in this game, when the pressure on, when you need him, he's 2 minutes too long. And what I mean by that, it takes him 2 minutes to make a decision to do something later. You should have subbed when you're down six. Your second unit has got you back in the game. You're down six. And I could see him looking at the clock. He looked up at the clock. I'm like, sub, let's go. You got back in the game. Now get your guys back in there. But he kept looking, and you could just see him going, I'm going to hold on a little longer. And what happened? Bam, they went on a run. And all of a sudden, by the time you get those guys back in 2 minutes too late, you're down 11. And the game is out of reach again. But, like I said, on the sideline play that happened right in front of him, he did not challenge at all. Now you're down 6-8 right there. So what happens? You don't challenge. They get the ball back. They turn around, hit a three. All of a sudden, you're down 9. It's the little things that make a difference. And I told you, coaching matters. Coaching matters. And once again, I think he's fantastic at getting players up to another level. I just don't think he's the guy to take him over the hump. I just don't. But that being said, we've got a nice little team of what we have. And I'm going to go over this again on who I think the Thunder have and who can play. You got SGA can play. Kaysen clearly is stepping his game up. You have Josh and Lou Dort shot back-to-back threes for some unknown reason. And then you got Isaiah Joe on the outside. But I'm just saying who I like, who in the end of next year should be here after next year, to me, after this year, for sure. I think SGA, Kaysen, Josh, J-Dub, Wiggins, Chet, J. Will. Those guys should be here. Everybody else, I like Isaiah Joe, but I think time has caught up with him. Lou Dort, I think Kaysen can take your place. But once again, or he's got to be put to the place where he can just defend and be a defender and not worry about scoring. So you keep him in as your 8th guy. Jang, he's not going to make it. Keontae Johnson, we don't know because he's not playing. He's a two-way. Lindy Waters, for sure, no. Poku, no. Kendrick Williams, no. Davis Bertans, no. And Sarr, no. That's what you got as a roster and who can and can't play. I'm just letting you know. I'm putting it out there for you to see who can play and who can't, okay? I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. I'm just saying for the Thunder, when you look at what the Nuggets have and what the Thunder have, you can go. I marked off the players right there. Bertans, no. Sarr, no. Kendrick Williams, no. Poku, no. Jang, no. Isaiah Joe, he's just not there anymore. Michik, on the outside. Trey, no. So right there, I just cut out Lindy, no. So I just cut out that, and Keontae doesn't play. So we don't know about him yet. But Jang, yeah, no, he's just no. It's just not. He's a little bit better than Baisley. Not much. He can shoot better than Baisley from the outside. Other than that, they're basically the same type player. Soft going to the basket, can't really finish unless you throw Baisley an alley-oop. And Jang, I don't even think can jump that high to be able to do that. So that's the frustrating part with me right there. So let's look at the comparison of first half and second half. The Nuggets was in the first half, they were 4 for 13. The Thunder were, they ended up being 11 for 27. So that meant they were 7 for 14 the second half. And you could just see them, they were just killing us. Every time we try to make a play, they knock a 3 down. Michael Porter would knock a 3 down. Walt Pope would knock a 3 down. Jamal Murray would knock a 3 down. Just absolutely murders. Then look at the field goal percentage. 53% for the first half, 60. That's a 6-0. 60 for the second half. What does that mean? No perimeter defense. Them getting whatever they wanted. Being able to attack the basket because you can't stop them off the dribble. And they're shooting wide open threes and knocking them down. That's what that says. Rebounds, they went from 30 to 48, which they only had 18 in the second half. Points in the paint, pips, 72 for them, 14 turnovers. Oklahoma City, we were 4 for 16 the second half, which was better than the first half. 41% from the field. We were 40%, so up one, so basically nothing. 29 rebounds. We were down by 14 rebounds after the half, and we finished being down 19 is what we finished being. Pip points in the paint. They were only up 4 at the end of the half. Ended up being up 14 to finish the game. Turnovers, not a factor. Really 7 to 8. I mean, we had 8. They had 11, and we had 8. And then, of course, bench scoring doesn't matter because the game kind of got out of hand. So the frustrating part for me is, once again, is that the Thunder, we don't have the squad. Not yet. Now, does that mean we can? Yes. Does that mean we'll be able to? I believe so. Does that mean we can go to the next level? I believe so. Those are the things that I do believe, okay? I believe the Thunder are going to be okay. I believe that we're going to get better. I believe once Jay Will gets back, we'll be a different team. But several things have to change. One, SGA's got to start getting calls. If he doesn't start getting calls, it's going to put more pressure on him to shoot the ball from 3 more. And then he's going to have to rely more on his pull-up mid-range game. And once again, going to the free throw line helps his rhythm. It gets you in rhythm being fouled. It helps your rhythm, which is why he's so deadly from the field. Okay? That's what makes him so deadly, because he gets to the line and going to the free throw line, all that does is work on your form. Work on release, 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 which you'll see him up there when he's shooting his free throws, he's releasing. Those are the things that you have to do as a team. The second thing we're going to have to be able to do to get better is we're going to have to be more physical. Chet is not physical. He's just not, Nokic was just punking him around down low. They were just beating on him because they can't. He just doesn't. It's not that he is a punk. It's just that they were beating him around like a little punk. That's what they were doing. You can't be physical. You can't. And I'm not being, trying to talk about anybody as far as, whatever. I'm talking about punk as in, it's a basketball term for somebody just pushing you around and doing anything they want. That's what that term is for. It's not don't try to take that as some sort of weird, that's not what it means, okay? We're talking basketball lingo. I'm trying to teach you, get you more informed, educate you more about what the lingo and how things work. So he's got to get stronger. They were just pushing him around and doing whatever they wanted, okay? And the third thing is that, once again, we're going to have to get better in the perimeter defense. And to me, you can't play a bunch of players. You just can't. And so here is the stats for what happened at the game tonight, for people to get a good look at what the stats actually were and what we did and could not do. Okay, here's the box score for tonight. Chet at 26 minutes, 7 for 12, 4 rebounds, 19 points. J-Dub, 28 minutes, 6 for 9, 3 rebounds, 13 points. SGA in 28 minutes, 2 for 16, 0 for 4 from 3. And he shot 4 free throws, like I said. 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 7 points. And remember, he only had 2 fouls, and he picked up those first 2 within the first 4 minutes of the game. And then they basically took him out by calling fouls on him and then never called another foul the rest of the game on him. It's just, I don't get it. Josh, in 22 minutes, he was 4 for 13 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, knocked down a big 3. 9 points. And then Lou Dort, 3 for 7, 1 for 5, and there he goes with 10 points. And what does he do? And there he is shooting those threes again. And, he knocked the worst thing that can happen to you, really, for Thunder is these guys to make threes. And then all of a sudden they think they're three-point shooters, and they're not. It's just frustrating. The bench, you can say, well, you really can't count it because, it was a blowout. But Keontae got 6 minutes in. Poku had 14 minutes. He was 0 for 1 from the field, which means he was 0 for 1 for 3. 1 rebound, 0 with 1 point in 14 minutes. Jang, 19 minutes, 2 for 8, 0 for 5 from 3. He just had 0 confidence with 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 5 points. Sar, 6 minutes, basically was playing trash. Trey Mann came in, 8 minutes. He was 5 for 7, 1 for 2, 12 points. That's what he is. He's a guy who can come in and score. Isaiah Joe in 17 minutes, 2 for 7, 1 for 4. He's been not good from the 3-point line issue. We've got to fix that. Got to fix that. 5 points. I mean, it's just the last 2 games. It's just not been good. We've got to fix. He's got to fix that. Aaron Wiggins in only 10 minutes, 2 for 3, 0 for 1, with no rebounds, no assists, no nothing. 5 points. That's just Aaron. But of course, he didn't really play a whole lot. And Micic, 14 minutes, 1 for 3, 0 for 2, 3 assists for 2 points. And then Kaysen, 22 minutes, 3 for 3, 1 for 1. Man, what a good game. 3 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds, 1 assist for 7 total points. Like the guy a lot. Poor Davis Bertans, he's not playing simply because that's a money thing for the Thunder. That's what that is. But when you hear your stats, I mean, you just break it down. SGA 2 for 16. This is arguably his worst game as a Thunder player. Worst games as a Thunder player. Josh, so let's look at this. Between 2 of your really best players, they were 6 for 29. 1 for 6 from 3. With 6 rebounds and 10 assists. Normally, that's one of their stat line as itself with 18 points. That's usually Josh's line. 18 points, 8 rebounds and 10 assists, or 10 rebounds and 8 assists, 6 assists. That's normally a Josh stat line. But he and SGA in 28, 22 minutes just didn't get it done. And once again, like I said, to me, this coach is not the guy. Unless, once again, Sam Presti and the Thunder people are trying to get him to coach the way he's coaching. If you're going to win, if you want to be competitive, you're going to have to get better. And what did we talk about? We talked about shooting, getting shooters, and being more physical in the paint. Those are 2 things I said we need to do, and I've been saying it for 2 years watching this team play. And we haven't accomplished either one of those goals through the draft or through trades. But, like I've said, with the 40 game mark, if we're 22 and 18 or 23 and 17, you're going to have to make a change in coaching. He's not the guy. Because, like I said tonight, you're down 12, 15, you make a run, you're down 6, second quarter, and you don't put your best players back on the court, and you wait for 2 minutes too long. And at the 6-minute mark, they should have been in the game anyway. SJ should have been in the game at the 6-minute mark in the second quarter. Should have been in the game anyway. But once again, the guy it's just frustrating to me to watch him coach. I don't think he's the guy. Now, I said at the beginning of the year, before the show on my pregame show, I said the Thunder are going to win 5 or 6 games or lose 5 or 6 games because of the coach. Because he either doesn't make the right substitution calls, which of course is which is what Randy Wright of YMB, that's the commander. That's his biggest thing. It's his decisions and lineups. When to put them in, when or not, which is Mark Long's favorite line for him is 2 minutes too long. That's what he called him. He used to call him 2 minutes too long. And that's what he is to this day, is he's 2 minutes too long. He still is 2 minutes too long. And it's sad. It's sad. So, I got all my frustrations and stuff out. But I want to thank the ladies and gentlemen of the club level for what they did for me tonight. Fantastic job. They got me a card. Do I have it in here? I think I have it here. I appreciate them loads for what they did. They gave me flowers and a card. Happy birthday. It was a little late because, the Thunder. And you can see right here. Oh, I'll move it back a little bit. Yes, here we go. Try to get it here to where y'all can kind of see it. There you go. Let's see where we at. Right there. The ladies and guys signed the card for me. I don't know if you can. I don't know. There we go. They signed the card for me. So I appreciate everybody's signature and all the nice things they had to say. And they have been taking care of us for 15 years, now 16th year. So I appreciate those guys. And By the way, great staff that the Thunder have there at the games, taking care of you, making sure you need anything you need is done. So I want to give a shout out to them, and I appreciate them for doing that for me. So that being said, remember tomorrow night we have a game against the. I think we have what do we have? The Pistons tomorrow night. Let me see our. I'm gonna update this tomorrow night for you guys of the Thunder's next 10 games. What we have coming up in our next 10 games, which is going to make a huge difference. Now remember, nobody predicted us to win this game. I really didn't either, but I thought maybe we'd have a chance, but we just don't have the players yet to get the things done that we need to get done. Let me see, where is it at? I thought I had my next 10 games in here somewhere. Here we go. So, and I'll update this because we beat the Bulls, we beat the Cavs, we lost to the Nuggets. Now we have the Pistons tomorrow night, which we've got to go 3-1. So we need to be 3-1. We need to beat the Pistons. And then Wednesday, watch the Pelicans. And boy, they are ridiculous. And that game will be on ESPN. So we'll be definitely watching that Wednesday night. So that being said, man, I tell you what, the Thunder are still okay. And I will update this for this next 10 because remember I said that we need to go hopefully 8-2, 7-3, 6-4 at the absolute worst in our first 4 games in order to me, for us to have any kind of chance to do this. And we need to win tomorrow night to be 3-1. And then we have the Pelicans, we need to be 4-1. If we're 3-2, we're going to struggle to be 6-4. So that's kind of the way I look at it. We'll see how it works. So that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Sorry about being late coming on tonight, but had some issues with I've got to get resolved right now as soon as I get off the air.